Welcome to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd. Brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Pristine Water, Files Insurance Agency, Jenkins Nissan, and by Marshside Grill. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Brunswick High Pirates, the Professor, Teddy Bishop.
I'm Teddy Bishop, and we are on location at Marshside Grill, where we will be each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. for the entire season. This segment of the Victor Floyd Show is sponsored by Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Coastal Appliances, Apple Care Immediate Care, Files Insurance Agency, Bruce Kennedy Tires, Pristine Water and Pools, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and Marshside Grill. And now joining us, the head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, Victor Floyd.
Good evening.
Coach, I have to admit, I didn't think South Effingham could hang in against Brunswick High Friday night, but apparently South Effingham is a better team than I thought.
Yeah, they're a real solid squad. Their coaches did a good job preparing them, and they had 2 weeks to prepare for us, and they came out and played real well. And we didn't play quite as well as we normally play, but we were able to get the win.
When you talk about Friday night's win over the Mustangs, I think you have to start with the defense. You said after the game that it was the Pirate defense that saved the day. Obviously, the defense played pretty well.
They did, and, you know, as ugly as it may have seemed, some games you have to win with defense, and you got to have defense to win championships. So I'm excited that our defense played well enough to put us in position to win.
Coach, let's talk about Donovan Slay. His 2 interceptions were obviously the key plays of the game, especially the first one. And I liked his comment after the game that he remembered South Effingham had been running that pass play throughout the game, so he was ready for it as the game got late. Is that a sign of maturity for a defensive back to remember plays that have been run earlier?
Well, I think so. I think he saw the play all week because we prepared for it, and he took advantage of opportunity when he had to. And he made 2 great plays for us to set up touchdowns.
Coach, Kip and I had Donovan as our player of the game, even though there were many people, of course, who contributed. But we thought those 2 interceptions were the keys, and so we named Donovan our player of the game.
Right, rightfully so. He deserves that.
We even talked about Donovan may have Pirate Nation saying Darius who. Of course, that's Darius Slay's younger brother.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't crown him just yet. He 2 interceptions compared to a lot of plays Darius made.
And, of course, Darius has the distinction of being in the NFL right now also. Coach, in the 3rd and 4th quarters, South Effingham had been able to run time off the clock, holding on to that 1-point lead. In the 4th quarter, still with the 1-point lead, they were 2nd and 14, and they ran that pass play that the quarterback threw that interception by Donovan. Were you surprised that they tried to pass with less than 5 minutes to go, and they had some success running time off the clock?
Well, they got in a 2nd and long situation. I think we had a TFL. May have been a sack, I'm not sure. But it put them in a 2nd and long. They probably just tried to throw a quick hitter to cut the yardage in half so they would have 3rd and manageable as opposed to possibly a 3rd and long. So I understand what they were trying to do, and we were just blessed that we got to play at that point.
This is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, let's talk a little bit more about your defense. The Mustangs had only 226 total yards. Did South Effingham do anything differently than what you had expected them to do?
No. What we saw on tape was pretty much what they did. A few little wrinkles, but nothing out of the norm, pretty much what we expected.
Unofficially, I had South Effingham with 6 punts for the game. Is that a pretty good stat for your defense?
It's a decent stat, 6, and ideally in a game you'd love to have 8, but 6 was a good stat for us Friday night.
And Coach, we talked about Donovan Slay. Any other defensive standouts that you would like to give some kudos to tonight?
Well, Devonus Johnson led us in tackles with 15. I think Keenan had 2 more sacks. He came into the game, I think, with 10 sacks. I think he added a couple more Friday night. Kept pressure on the quarterback. Trying to think who else. Reggie Jackson played well coming back. He played real well also. So we had some guys on defense to really fly around and make some plays.
And I thought Chris Cowart, he had an exceptional game against Statesboro, and I thought he played pretty solid.
He was solid the
Friday
other
night.
night. Not as good as Statesboro, but he was still solid.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about, it was homecoming week, homecoming for the Brunswick High Pirates. During the week, are those festivities a distraction? And how about during the game? Can that also be a distraction?
Well, during the week, definitely it's a distraction because something's going on every day. And as I tell the guys on Monday, don't get caught up in the festivities. Those are for the fans. We have to prepare for the game. But, we're dealing with teenagers, so the chance of that happening is still 50-50. During the game, it's not a distraction, I don't think, because you're locked in on what's going on during the game. And we don't even know what's going on when we're in the locker room and that type of thing for halftime. So
right.
I don't think it's a distraction during the game, but definitely during the week. I'm glad homecoming's over.
Yes, sir. The weather, big storm moved through 4:30, 5 o'clock, and there was some forecast for more rain later in the game, but it actually turned out to be a nice night as far as the weather goes. But how about the playing conditions on the field? Was the field still somewhat wet?
It was wet, but it didn't make a difference in anything that happened in the game, I don't think. I was glad the storm moved out. It kind of teased us and got us all worried. But it did clear up, and the night turned out to be nice.
Coach, I was impressed with South Effingham's defense also. The Pirates had over 300 total yards, but quite honestly, to me, it didn't seem like Brunswick High had that many total yards, particularly as the fourth quarter ticked away and Brunswick High still losing by a point. We talked about their overall scheme. Did their defense do anything differently than what you expected?
No, they did pretty much what we expected. Their guys just played real hard, and they did a good job. Offensively, though, we didn't see anything that we hadn't seen on tape, and we're not prepared. We were prepared for everything that we saw.
Coach, all 3 of our touchdowns were on relatively short drives. One drive started from the 50. One started, I think, at the South Effingham 49, and then after Donovan's second interception, it was a short field at the 17. Does your play calling change when you have good field position?
It does. It does. You don't have to reach as much when you have good field position, and then we're working against the clock, so it definitely had to change Friday night during that stretch.
More to come on the Victor Floyd Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
Coastal Appliances is your one-stop shop for Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool refrigerators, and so much more. Coastal Appliances offers free delivery and service after installation and have also been in business for over 30 years. 4727 Altama, next to Sonic, and on the web at appliancesbrunswickga.com, or give them a call at 912-267-0132. Coastal Appliances, Glenn County's only specialty appliance store. When you are in need of a reputable body shop, Port City Paint and Body in Brunswick is your answer. Located at 2509 Norwood Street, just down from Twin Oaks, Port City Paint and Body understands your needs and cares about your car and you. Port City Paint and Body works with any insurance company. Give them a call for a free estimate at 912-265-9524 or on the web at portcitybodyshop.com. Port City Paint and Body, home of the lifetime guarantee, and go Pirates!
Hop aboard for Texas Hold'em tournaments, roulette, poker, lots of slot action, food, music, and more. Labor Day weekend, Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. Cruises depart from Brunswick, Georgia. Call 800-842-0115 or visit EmeraldPrincessCasino.com. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Get affordable health care when you need it. At AppleCare Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glencoe Parkway, AppleCare is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. AppleCare welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Teddy Bishop. On location from Marside Grill. This segment of the Victor Floyd Coaches Show is brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Port City Paint and Body, the Emerald Princess, Jenkins Nissan, and by AppleCare Immediate Care. Coach, talk a little bit about the offense. John Grant and Sean Smith each had 115 yards rushing, but there was a big difference in how they got those yards. Sean had 85 yards of his 115 in the fourth quarter, of course, including that 41-yard touchdown scamper. Sean had a big fourth quarter, came through in the clutch for you.
He did. John got all the tough yards inside and ran pretty solid all night. And Sean's pretty fast, so he comes in and gives you a little different dimension. He can hit a crease and get gone compared to, a 15, 20-yard game by John. And they were a nice little combination Friday. I thought both running backs ran hard.
And as you said, John got his yards in smaller increments, but he got tough yards, a lot of tough yards between the tackles. When Brunswick High was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, seemed like he was the go-to guy. He was.
He's done a really good job, and Sean has really stepped up in the absence of A.J. Half of those carries probably would have been, on A.J., and he's played real solid during his absence, and that's really helped us.
Coach, the Pirates ended up with 356 total yards. Again, it seemed like the yardage was closer. How does this compare? How does this game compare with your season average as far as total yards?
I think we ended up with a few more. They had missed some passing yards and whatnot, but we were almost on the season average. I think we averaged around 375, and we might have ended up with 370. The problem was we were not getting in the end zone like normal. That was the catch-22. It wasn't the yardage. We'll get yards, but we just have to get them at the right time when they count and finish off drives.
And Coach, again, special teams are always important, and you commented in your post-game interview about 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. Of course, the defense came through, but the special teams, I thought, did a pretty solid job for the most part, and I thought we came close a couple of times to blocking a punt. They had an unusual, I guess it would be considered a rugby-style kicker, where he would take 2 or 3 steps before he kicked it.
Right.
Did that throw the timing off on trying to block a punt? We did have that one penalty for roughing the kicker.
Right. No, it didn't throw the timing off. We had practiced that all week, and we just had to block on it that time, and John got knocked into the punter, and they called it. The coverage teams played well. That's what we were excited about. Our kickoff team played well along with our punt team covered well. So, those are the phases where you can give up big plays if you're not careful. Quickest momentum changers, a block kick or a kick run back for a touchdown. So we try to focus on that and try to avoid those big plays.
You're listening to the Victor Floyd Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, going back to the Mustangs defense, they pretty much held Randon Jernigan in check. Freshman quarterbacks played really, really well throughout the first half of the season, and he did okay Friday night. I think he ended up with around 50 yards rushing and maybe 55 to 60 yards passing. Were they keying on Randon, their defense?
I'm sure everybody is. I don't think they did anything out of the norm for him, but I'm sure everybody's going to have their eye on him because he's leading the region in rushing, so everybody's going to spy him or do whatever they need to do. But he'll bounce back.
And Randon's mobility seemed a little bit impaired. He twisted his ankle or turned his ankle. Is the ankle's going to be okay, you think? Nothing serious?
He's fine. He's fine. He finished the game. I just didn't run him any in the second half, but no, he's fine.
And as I said, he still got some key yardage, particularly in the fourth quarter. Down 1 point, what do you say to a freshman quarterback on the sidelines when the defense is on the field?
We just got to put a drive together. As simple as that. It came down to us just putting a drive together or, catching a break, and we caught a break and cashed in and got another one and cashed in. So, he handles whatever comes to him. It's not even really that much about him as it is about the whole offense, the, offensive line that play as well as they played in the past games. So, we got areas to work on, trust me.
How about the overall injury status with the Pirates? I know you've had some injury problems throughout the season, and last week you had said that hopefully you would have your offensive line intact and when you go to the Coffee County game. Is that still the way it looks like it's going to play out?
Right. Right now I think we'll finally get everybody back except for Kenneth Dallas. He won't be back for Coffee. And he's the only one that I know that won't be back. Everybody else should come back either this week or the beginning of next week. So we should be full tilt almost for the first time this year.
And Brinkley will be full speed by then, you think? So.
He would definitely be back.
Okay.
He'll go light this week, but he'll be ready to roll by Monday.
Coach, the Pirates have a bye week, so that gives you 2 weeks to prepare for Coffee County. What will your practice schedule be like during the next 2 weeks?
Well, we're going to practice 4 out of 5 days this week. We'll take Thursday off because we have a home JV game. And we'll practice the other 4 days. And we get an opportunity to have a bye week before a big game, so we have to take advantage of it. And hopefully we can get a lot of things cleared up and corrected and get healed up and really be ready to put our best performance together.
Do you prepare any differently for a team like Coffee County with the publicity and the rankings and things that they have?
Now, we don't prepare any differently, but like I said, with this game, we get an opportunity to have 2 weeks. So, you can take and break things down a little bit more and have a little more time on them compared to 3 work days in a week, which most people, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they're work days. Thursday's a dress rehearsal. You go play on Friday. We get an opportunity to have 7 days to prepare as opposed to 3. So we have to take advantage of that, but actually preparing any differently, no, there's no difference in preparation.
We will be right back to Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glenn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust. Files Insurance Agency, located at 5623 Altama Avenue, a quarter-mile north of the Target Shopping Center, offers a wide range of products to protect you and your family from the unknown. Auto insurance, life, health, flood, commercial, bonds, including shrimp bonds, and so much more. Give Files Insurance Agency a call at 912-264-0100 or visit them online at filesinsurance.com. Pristine Water is your destination for pools, spas, and pool supplies. From installation to maintenance, Pristine Water is your best choice in all of Southeast Georgia for your next pool or spa. Give Pristine Water a call at 912-264-9233 for a free estimate, or stop on in at 166 Key Circle Drive, or check Pristine Water out online at pristinewaterandpools.com. And go Pirates!
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simon's Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Marshside Grill is your home for the best burgers, spuds, and seafood around. Come enjoy the view out by the water while taking in an ice-cold beverage. Marshside Grill is also your home for the Brunswick High Pirates Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd, and a proud sponsor of Brunswick High and local high school athletics. So stop in any day or night of the week for the best view and atmosphere in the Golden Isles. And also, check us out on Facebook. Go Pirates!
Welcome back to the Brunswick High Pirates Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Teddy Bishop on location at Marshside Grill. This segment is brought to you by Bruce Kennedy Tires, Files Insurance Agency, Pristine Water and Pools, and by Misty's Massage Element. Coach, again talking about the game coming up against Coffee County. Road game, tough road game. Do you prepare any differently for a road game?
No, we do not. I actually like road games for the simple fact we'll get a chance to leave a little earlier and spend more time together than we normally would spend on a home game. We'll end up leaving school probably 2 o'clock, and we'll be together from 2 until. And whereas in a normal day, we wouldn't get them until 3:30 at the end of the day. So road games can work to your advantage because you keep them together and you can go ahead and start getting focused a little more. In the classroom, they're still in there with girls. They're still around people. Other things are going on. Their mind's not on the game. But having an opportunity to travel gives you that.
Coach, were you surprised by any of the scores from region games Friday night?
No, I was not surprised at any. No.
How about the Camden-Valdosta game?
Didn't surprise me.
Of course, Valdosta traveled over to Kingsland and beat Camden. I was a little bit surprised, I guess, but obviously Valdosta is a very good football game too, football team. Coach, you're sitting 4-2 now on the season, 3-1 in the region. Things kind of playing out like you had hoped after getting into region play, and Brunswick High controls its own destiny as far as the playoffs.
Yep. We do. We control our own destiny as far as, still being in the region championship mix.
Coach, after the bye week and then traveling to Douglas to play Coffee County, obviously a huge region game there. Then you come back home to take on Richmond Hill. At this point, what do you expect from Richmond Hill?
Don't know a lot about them. I know they're playing everyone tough, so I expect them to play us the same way.
And then on the road to Hinesville to take on Bradwell. Another tough place to play on the road, but you'll have the Pirates ready for that. I think Bradwell may be down a little bit. They've been up and down, of course, throughout the seasons, but may be down a little bit this year.
Well, Coach Hill's doing a good job. I think he's laying the foundation, and it seems like they're getting better week by week, just watching the scores and hearing about how some of the games are playing out. So I think they're getting better as we go.
And then after that game, return to Glenn County Stadium to take on Ware County. Another huge game, and that could have a lot of bearing on region seedings and everything like that. So certainly you can't look ahead to that game. How do you keep your players focused on the game coming up that week and not looking ahead?
Well, we're not in a position to be able to look ahead. We have to stay focused on the game at hand, just taking one at a time. If we make a mistake and look ahead, you can easily lose a game you're not supposed to, or lose a game that you could win when you're wasting time looking ahead. So we just got to keep our eye on the prize and stay focused one game at a time.
Just to remind you, this is the Brunswick High Coaches Show with head coach Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Coach, you put together a real solid coaching staff. Offensively, defensively, coordinators have done a good job, and all of your coaches seem to be really working together and putting solid efforts week in and week out on the field.
Yes, I definitely think I have a real solid staff, and our guys do a good job, preparing and breaking people down and preparing for games week to week.
Coach, one more question before we go. How's Troopers football team doing?
They're surviving. They're struggling on the winning end, but they're playing real hard.
And when do they have another game?
They go to Folkestone on Saturday.
Folkestone on Saturday, and I know you'll be sitting there cheering him on.
Oh, yeah.
Any updates or comments on college games yesterday with your former Brunswick High Pirates?
Hadn't had an opportunity to look up anything, but I know two of them played against each other. Louisiana Lafayette played Georgia State, and Tracy and Avery had an opportunity to play against each other. One plays receiver, one plays DB. I think Lafayette won the game by field goal, so I hadn't had a chance to look at any stats or anything. And I do have one stat. Jarvis had his third 100-yard game in a row.
Great.
He was 18 for 129 and a touchdown, I think. They won another game.
And that's Jarvis Small.
Right.
Yeah. Coach, we want to thank you for joining us, and we thank everyone for joining us for the Brunswick High Coaches Show with the head Pirate himself, Victor Floyd. You've been listening to the Brunswick High Coaches Show with Victor Floyd on the Bishop Media Sports Network. We invite you to come out to Marside Grill Sunday night at 7 p.m. and join us for the Victor Floyd Coaches Show. I'm Teddy Bishop. Good night.